Sure that everybody had a lot to be thankful for this past Thanksgiving. Although things may have not been perfect, I'm sure we still have an awful lot that we can be thankful for. And it's so good to see each of you this morning. Thank you for coming to our last beginning of the month meeting for 2024. This year has just flown by. It certainly has. This board has made a lot of decisions over the past 12 months, and we're grateful for being able to do that and for the citizens placing their confidence in us. We're going to ask Supervisor Little, if you don't mind, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this wonderful day you've given us, Lord. Please guide and direct each of us as we go our ways this week. Please give us discernment in this meeting to help us to listen carefully and decide on the will of the people, Lord. Thank you for everything. Please be with us, guide and direct us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Supervisor Little. Next on the agenda, we've got the approval of our November board orders. Let's get a motion there. We'll get a discussion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved in second by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Discussion.
I got a couple things called my attention. Number one, on the first page, that's November 4th, 2024, at 9 o'clock meeting. We did approve that, that's number 31. Number 31. We did not approve that with striping, so it's going to be about $60,000 more with striping. And if you remember, our county engineer recommended a county-wide striping, so we wouldn't have to pay as much if we had someone to come in and give us a price for striping all over the county. It would be cheaper. So I would like to go back and stripe that road possibly once we get a county-wide striping approved by someone to come in with county-wide striping. I think we can get a much better price than $60,000 for one road. So we approved this, but we did approve it with striping, so that amendment would have to be made, and the adjustment to the price would have to be made also.
Okay, so you're saying we need to deduct $60,000 from this total?
It needs to reflect, and I don't have the exact amount, but it's roughly that amount. Roughly that amount, but if we could say, adjust it without the striping and adjust the price, accordingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adjust the price accordingly.
You understand?
Yeah, the bid that Clyde
It's
Richardson
over.
sent.
It's over. It's more than,
We didn't approve it with striping, but this says it was approved with striping.
That's what the
okay,
letter
gotcha.
says.
I'm with you.
The letter does say that.
So, we got an engineer.
Y'all taking the striping out, cause that letter's leaving here in like 5 minutes. I
Because
need
the letter
to go
states-
call my engineer and tell him to hold up.
Okay. Yeah, according to Supervisor Williams, he wants to deduct the striping from that.
I'll be right back.
Excuse me. Explain what, I didn't understand your statement a few minutes
The
ago.
board order we received said the striping was included.
Yeah.
We are sending that letter out as we speak to award that contract. If you're taking that out, I need to go stop it.
Yeah, and the board order said, but did it include it for the $1 million? That included the striping, the
Yes.
number in our
Yes,
board
that's-
order.
I
That
think
included
that's
the
correct.
striping.
I don't
So we
the
have to
number.
deduct that.
You have to deduct the striping.
I'll
That's
straighten it out, I
simple.
just need to go stop the
Yeah,
correspondence.
that's something.
Okay, we're on actually,
You
that's
wanna
what,
take
that's
the
what I didn't
striping
understand.
out.
Take the striping out.
You-
Minus
I didn't
the
understand.
60,000.
Yeah, that'd be,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
However much the striping is,
How much the striping?
Minus the price accordingly.
Of course.
Can we do another board order so that it's clear, basically stating what we're approving rather than amend that particular one, because what's gonna happen?
So we rescind 31.
We rescind 31 and redo another one. that would be the better option.
We need a motion to, rescind, first of all, rescind, number 31 on the board orders for, November 2024, November 4th meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we need a motion to approve, the Williams Road project without the striping.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. President, if I would,
Yes, sir.
to call attention to November 18th, 2024 meeting, number 4, where it says, there came before the board, Victor College Road Manager, with a request for authorizing to close roads as needed.
Let me catch up with, you said number 4?
That's number 4.
On the second, okay, second page.
Number
The
4.
18th, okay.
Yeah. That's down at the agenda.
Okay.
You wanna take out as needed?
Well, yeah, now, closed roads, I think what we really meant was closed roads according to those bridge repairs, not to just blankly close roads across the county. But this conversation was related to closing roads as related to those bridge walls, those 6 bridge walls repair only. That doesn't mean that he is to close roads all over the county as he see to be needed.
Can we just make a friendly amendment to add pertaining to the bridges?
Pertaining to
in
the
discussion?
Pertaining to the bridge that was in discussion on that particular day.
Move
That's
approval.
right.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor
Second.
Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? Motion passes with amendment.
Good catches.
Any other, changes? Any other members?
I was looking over here and unless I missed it, I did not see where we approved the GPSs. Did I miss that? I saw where we were taking away the one that I didn't see the other one.
You mean approval of that contract?
Yeah, we approved.
Yeah, I thought we did.
We did approve it, I just didn't see it in
It's
here.
not in the board order, that's what I'm saying.
We had to amend something in that contract.
2 year to 1 year.
That's right, that's
So
right.
it'll be,
1 year to 2 years.
No, I brought the amended
You
contract.
did, okay, we have, all right, trying to remember. That's what I
Well, no, we
remember.
did have to fix it,
That's
but
right.
you got that done
Yeah.
before the board meeting, I brought it here. We
Yeah, that's
approved
correct.
it.
You and I are on the same page.
You
Just to, you
I
caught my
already
brain
sent
up.
Victor, told him to execute it after we got all approved.
Supervisor Little, you're saying you don't see it in the
I
board
did
order?
not see it.
Don't see it in here.
I didn't see a forward order on that.
And everybody remember what meeting that was?
it would have been the second meeting,
Yes, it was
18th.
The second meeting, you're right.
I see where we rescinded the other contract, but I didn't see where we had accepted,
Approve the new.
when we approved the new one.
If this is
I
not a
need to
deal,
be
we'll go ahead and make a motion then.
Let's go ahead and, if it don't hurt to double,
Yeah,
even
double.
if it's.
There was a motion to approve it at the 2 years last meeting.
Motion by Supervisor Little to approve the contract for 2 years, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? Motion, all in favor?
Yeah,
Motion passes.
Yeah, I have one more, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Which meeting are we?
We on, November 4th.
Okay,
November 4th, under citizen, under the agenda itself, on the third page, that conversation was related to the closure of Williams Road.
Which number are we?
That's number 16.
16.
Number 16. That conversation was related to the closure of Williams Road. Now, I don't believe we motioned blankly to close Williams Road. Motion to extend Williams Road closure without putting a date on it. We've been putting a date, it's been a month at a time. But here is just to extend Williams Road closure. Now, that could be indefinitely. We really should have, if we didn't put a date on it should have been a date on it. It should have been something like December the 1st, and then if there's a need to close it again, we can motion to close it again, but if not, this might continue on for the rest of the year. So, and what I'm saying, it should have been a date. So, I'm gonna carry a motion today that we amend that to be December the 1st.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. So then that should be coming back before the board to explain, cause that road been closed for 2 months.
We've got a road manager out there.
Yeah.
Would you like for him to address this,
Right.
and maybe
That's
some
fine.
sort of timeline?
That's
Because we
fine,
didn't put
that's
a
fine.
timeline in there.
Oh,
But we
We,
talking
uh,
about now is closed, should be closed now, and then if there's need to reopen it, a need to continue the closure, we need to know about it. Yeah.
We're waiting on crane service, and that's what I got from him Friday. He had just a couple more jobs that should be over, so it's gonna take us one day to do what we gotta do down there. So from what he told me, it could be a week and a half
From today?
from today, yes.
A week and a half.
Yeah.
That'd be what, December 10th?
Yeah, well, this might not be a good time to put that in the minutes, but I think that does need to be in the minutes. To a week and a half, because it's been closed for 2 months. And then.
Well, we need to just go ahead and do a new board order instead of amending this one to.
Right.
Okay. We've got a motion to extend the closure of Williams Road until December 10th, at which time, a decision will be made then whether or not it needs to be extended. Would that suffice to?
Yeah, that's a motion.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
What was that meeting? I'm sorry.
December 10th. Any other corrections that any other board members or anyone see?
I just have one thing. Y'all just made a motion in a second for the, contract for those GPS.
Mhm.
That was already done for November the 18th. And we've already executed work with that, so we need to keep that one because this is proceeding that one. So,
Okay.
yeah, I guess rescind this one today.
Oh, yeah.
Because y'all already made that
Yeah.
motion last, in November.
We just needed to add it to our meeting.
Yeah,
They just, yeah, they just
I
need to
think
add
that
it to
was,
the meeting.
that was
That
Supervisor
one-
Little's observation that it wasn't in the
Yes,
minutes.
that's all we need
Was
to
omitted.
add, yes.
Need a motion to, rescind, board order we just made to
That GPS.
accept GPS contract. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Anything else? If not, we need a.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. If not, we need a motion to accept, approve board minutes.
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next, on our agenda, we've got our citizens comment period. This is the time that any citizen can come before the board for up to 3 minutes, and speak to the board. We are now open for citizens comment period. Morning, Mr. Price.
Good morning. We've taken bids on our ARPA project to, take the 6-inch line out to the county line and the habitat. It came in way low. Haven't seen that in years, and most of the estimates are based on projects in the past that are USDA funded. They're big contracts with big contractors and big overhead. We were expecting the total cost to be around 1.3 million, and it came in $678,604. And there's engineering fees and inspection that goes on top of that. So we'll probably cap out at around 750, maybe a little bit less, which half of that would be 375 from the county. So the board would like to know if you will allow the district to do other things. One thing the district needs is a pickup. Been using mine forever, and if I disappear, they don't have one to run around and do things like locates and check on things. The other thing is the Cross Point Church, I believe their name is, on Hickory Grove Road, is starting to build, and we would like to extend the line down Hickory Grove Road for probably 1,500 feet or something like that.
I think we need to take that under advisement and visit with them. What do y'all think?
Where's the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not asking for approval today because the board has not approved this. And,
Do you have any engineering drawings for those?
Yes, Rob has the ones that I've provided to y'all. I'll get you another copy if you want them.
We've got a motion to take this under advisement by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion?
I would advise that be careful with that truck. I'm not certain of the purpose restrictions surrounding that ARPA money, but a truck may not fall within the guidelines. I think the extension of the water line probably does. We just need to make sure we understand that before you guys execute. The county bought a bunch of equipment, so, with the ARPA money.
We're gonna take it under advisement. Any other discussion?
I will get on the agenda and bring back, find out what the board wants to do and bring you a proposal with dollar signs. Yeah, that. Before the next meeting. I just wanted to come in and, tell you where we are and, ask if you would be open to that. So I'll come back with this is, you guys, that's a copy of the, engineer's report with the actual cost in there and the two bids.
Maybe one caveat, we did buy purchase equipment for the county, but this is the East Wastewater District, which is sort of a standalone entity.
Right.
So we do need to research that.
Need to make sure we understand it. I'm not saying don't, I agree.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else doing citizen comment? Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name, please.
Mary Kelly is my name.
Mary Kelly.
How's everybody this morning? Good. I'm here to, again, to piggyback ride on the situation dealing with our roads, with the dust and things of that nature. Again, like the last time I was here, I stated that my family members is dealing with terminal illness, cancer, diabetes, etc. Also, they're on asthma pumps and just being hard to breathe and everything. So, with that being said, I'm just hoping that, I know you guys said something about, I know there's a protocol and a chain of command. So let me just say that. But I know y'all said something about a 4-year plan, and I'm just hoping that you guys can, get that done rather sooner than later, because we have a lot of traffic going through there. We have the trash trucks, the buses. We have kids on, 4-wheelers and go-karts and all that, and we're literally 365 days in a year breathing in this dust. And I know, I could just, not saying I'm speaking for you guys at this table, but I know you guys wouldn't want your loved ones in that situation, your mom, your kids, like babies, I mean, they're just dealing with this. It's in our homes, it's in our clothes, it's in our foods. And we're dealing with this situation 365 days in a year. So the only thing I'm saying is I hope you guys can get this rectified rather sooner than later. And if you would, could you all just give me like a time frame? I know Ms. Hill, we live near Ms. Hill, Ms. Barbara Hill, and I know she said something about you guys gave her a time frame. So is there a time frame on our roads within that area, 385 Clifford Lane, that y'all give like a time frame?
4 years.
4 years.
It's on the 4-year road plan, so it may be long.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the plan. And you can probably talk with Ms. Hill, she can tell you about it. Not only her, but there's many others that have come and been right here in that seat and the things that they've done to reach their goal.
Mm-hmm.
So just continue to come. We got it on the 4-year road plan and got y'all in mind. Not only that road, but we have quite a few gravel roads out in the entire county. And we got all of them in mind. But we certainly appreciate you coming, and we'll certainly acknowledge that and certainly keep that in mind, and we'll definitely try to see if we can stick to the plan.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Say
Appreciate
your
it.
address again
Thank
for me, please.
385 Clifford Lane.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we need a motion to acknowledge, Mr. Price.
So moved.
Moved by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes, and we acknowledge Mr. Price, here before the board. Now we need a motion to acknowledge Ms. Kelly's, appearance before the board.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver. Any discussion?
Yeah. Mr. President, all of the individuals that come before us concerning gravel roads has a legitimate concern and complaint. We not only need the 4-year road plan, that road, but we need the 4-year road plan every gravel road in Octavia County. As productive and as well known as Octavia County is, we shouldn't have as many gravel roads as we have. We should have fixed this problem long time ago.
Amen. Amen.
And we need to come up with some kind of solution. And the young lady that came before us have a real legitimate concern. They really are breathing that dust.
We're eating it. It's in
And,
our
and
food.
then, and I'm not just talking about your road.
Amen.
I'm talking about all of these gravel roads in Octavia County need to be attended to in some way. They need to be attended to. We've had individuals every board meeting just about, and every year someone come complaining about these gravel roads. We're gonna have to do something with them. I don't know the solution. We need to put our head together, our mind together, our thoughts together, and come up with a solution. How do we address this problem? And I know this is a concern for everybody in Octavia County, not just that particular citizen, but all the citizens in Octavia County who lives on gravel roads have gotten enough of them. And we need to listen to their concern. Mr. President, thank you for allowing me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Supervisor Williams, those comments certainly doesn't fall on deaf ears. I think the board would be more than willing to sit down and have a discussion about this. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Motion passes. That's for Ms. Kelly. Anybody else doing our citizens comment period?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. We know your name, but if you don't mind stating your name.
Barbara Hill.
Good morning, Ms. Hill.
Good morning. Yes, I would just like to say about the roads, what she was saying. Now, I live right there on the road. I was a little further off until they came, and you know, I think it was the bad when they cut all the trees and stuff down. And now I have developed some lung problems from all the dust and stuff that's coming in the house, and we is living in this stuff. And I mean, like she said, it's terrible. It's very terrible. I mean, I stay sick. I am sick. I have a lot of health problems. And it due to the, like she said, the garbage truck, the UPS truck, they come out there doing 100 miles an hour, and the dust you cannot see nothing. And we shouldn't be living in this environment because we pay our taxes too. But then I see roads that, our road has been there for a long time, but I seen roads that, have just gotten there, and they are paved and ours are not. And I've been coming up here, and I mean, I'm just kind of dealing with it, but I thank y'all for listening to me. But I mean, it's just, it's terrible. It's really terrible. And we've been praying, and I pray we get some kind of relief from all of this dust. And I thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Hill.
Thank you.
I can say Supervisor Trainer has ordered an assessment of his roads in District 2.
Okay.
So that's step one. So he is working toward a solution. Need a motion to acknowledge, motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Any other citizens who want to come before the board? If not, we're closing our citizens' comment period. Next on the agenda, we've got our Veteran Service Officer, Ms. Hobson. Good morning.
Good morning. I trust everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all. Does anybody else need a package?
Everybody got one down this way?
Rob needs one. Oh, I'm sorry, Rob.
You're good.
I'm putting together a status of what we've been doing quarterly. And so I put together this, basically the same thing I've been highlighting before, the activities I did from October to December 31st, which I'm estimating. And then I have in the back, like Supervisor Howard requested, the backup charts. And I'm gonna, next time I'm gonna add an enclosure and name each of them. But that's some backup information I put with everything. And I guess the activities that are focused on that I want to bring attention to, I passed a certification test that Mississippi has to take each year for keep our license. And then I've got the boots to business. You'll see that down there. I know I'm reading some of this. I put this together before Thanksgiving, so I had to familiarize myself with it. So, Mr. Supervisor Trainer, you know, you and I have been working on this boots to business, and I've got the backup material. And it's a veteran for veterans, and it's an educational program. And I've got my certification because I've been attending virtually a lot of the
through the
classes.
SBA and the 12-week course that you do through the Mississippi State University. This is Boost to Business on campus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good program. So I guess you've already sat through it, but that's something that is right in our back door that is underutilized. If they're taking veterans that want to start a business, and I'm just pretty familiar with it. But take them through the process, and then I know we've got veterans here that want to understand how to write a business plan, how to write a business model, and succeed. But I think we need to probably invest in that, and then try to. I know we could probably find 3 or 4 veterans here that want to start a business here, and that gives them a leg up to learn how. So.
Yeah, I think it's really great from what
is.
I've learned from it. And I passed out some information at the Veterans Day fair that we had. And I need to get some more things I could pass out. And I think I sent you a note, said could we get together if y'all know of anything, so I can get some little things that people can remember, because we're gonna have a big fair in 2025, early in 2025. I'd like to have some little pass out things and information there on my table that we're gonna set up for veterans. So anyhow, I've been participating in those, and that's gonna continue. They're gonna have Veteran Small Business Week, which goes from November the 11th or 12th through the 21st, and I'm gonna be attending not all, but some of them that just touch on what I can know that I can share with other veterans that I'm familiar with, and I'll have, and as you can see, there's a lot of backup information with it, and a link that it goes also where they can see everything. Okay, and to continue on, I met with Judy Holmes, and a lot of y'all may know her. She's the president of the Honored Warriors Memorial Foundation, the Holmes Foundation, and she and I are going to start meeting together and going over veteran resources, what's available for some of our aging veterans too, like rides to, to their medical meetings, medical, clinics and everything like that. Anything that can help the veteran. And I do see a need for transportation. And we're trying to have, getting the church involved, with maybe having rides that they can call and go to, clinics or whatever they need to. So I am working that, with, Paige Laws and some of the other people on the Military Affairs Committee. And also I put, we had our celebration for veterans on Veterans Day, and I have that information, and I set in a table where with a question and answer and what resources did you have. So we did that in November the 9th, and let's see, and all of that is attached. And it's going back to Judy's foundation. I'm going to go to, like I did last year, her social on the 22nd of November, the Honored Warriors Memorial Foundation, and so I'll attend that for Oktibbeha County as a representative. So I'll let y'all know about that. And I guess what's coming up is going to be, we're going to have that big resource fair with a lot of participation with the partnership and the Military Affairs Committee. That's why I want to get some of the SBA, the farmer stuff that y'all may know where I can get it, that I don't know. And I'll be looking for it also, that I can pass out there. And that's going to be, I think, in March is what they're aiming for. And that's for the Greater Triangle area, so it'll be other counties involved too. That's about it. Is there any questions?
Well, we certainly appreciate all that you do for our veterans here in Oktibbeha County. One of my favorite sayings is, we live in the land of the free because of the brave.
And that's true, that's true.
You know, that's a true statement. And so everything we can do for our veterans, we certainly do appreciate it. Appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Supervisor Howard, and I'm honored to do it. So, thank you. If y'all have any suggestions or anything, just let me know, okay?
Absolutely. Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next, we've got our fire coordinator, Mr. Patrick Warner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How y'all doing? It's starting to get a little chilly here. Everybody dresses warm tonight for the parade. I don't have much going on today. I do have a small thing, and I want to ask Mr. Rob to help me out.
Mr. Cecil Simmons has donated a piece of property for the volunteer fire department, with the caveat that if it ever changes and doesn't become, and I've already kind of plugged some of that information into the deed, but if it ever reverts back to, or no need for the volunteer fire department, he asked for it to revert back to his family at that point, which is not an uncommon request. He has also asked for them to be able to, him to put this on his accounting, which to be honest with you, I don't care how his accountant works this out, but we have to put a value on it, on our side of it, for him to be able to take it. And whether it's legal, not legal, I'm not worried about that. His accountant figures that part out for himself. But that acre, what did you determine that you thought that acre was worth?
It's not even an acre, and that's
Or whatever it was.
Yes, sir. And I'll let the board decide. I don't know what it's worth.
Well, I think that at a minimum, I think it's worth at least 1,500. I mean, that's. I wouldn't sell anything. It's out toward Maven.
It's by the Maven Station 3 fire station on the highway right there.
I probably wouldn't sell it for anything less than that. And to be honest with you, that's probably a low number.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably 2,500.
I probably think that's a better number.
He's just trying to get some tax rebate off of it for donating the land to us.
Because it's on frontage, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Out next to the 4 lane, so yeah.
And it may have more value than that, to be real honest with you. I just didn't want to.
I had a lady that sent me something. Did I send it to you? But it was labeled in Maven. But anyhow, she was selling some land in Maven, and it's on that 4 lane out there. and she was selling it was either $6,000 or $4,000 an acre.
Yeah, it's not
She had to be
necessarily
like
cheap
almost
property
10
up there.
acres that she was selling, but the one section giving it access was right there on the frontage road.
I think he would be happy with whatever number we came up with. He's not trying to twist our arms or anything, he just wants a net value, so we have to come up with that.
We have to have a value to accept the donations, but we have to report it to the auditor. That's properly.
So would it be suffice for the board to set a value of 2,500, or does it need to be appraised?
It will be the county's property, so I would assume it probably would need to be appraised or taxed some type of survey.
I like to make a motion, we get it appraised and surveyed.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Patrick.
Robert, you got a description on it?
I've got a description on it, I'll get it to you. Would it be okay, or could we get a motion after we got the appraisal amount to be able to accept it and allow him to, because that would get them ahead of the ball
That's
on
the
this.
motion that I was thinking about, so I'll motion that one.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. Next, we've got our tax assessor collector, Ms. Jo Helen Walker. Oh, good morning, Ms. Barber.
I just have assessment changes and approval of the erroneous sale.
Okay. Did we have a copy of that now?
Yes.
Yeah.
We should.
That's all in this
That's all
tax.
in that.
Some of the erroneous tax sale.
Mine doesn't look like
And 10%, one was 10%, couple of 10% adjustment. I'm a motion for approval on it.
Okay, we need,
Second.
on the erroneous tax sale, is that, which one was it? Okay, item, okay. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer, for the erroneous tax sale. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Now we need a motion for the decrease of assessment.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor.
I'm sorry, before we do that motion, it's two separate, one is for personal and one is for real.
Okay,
The first one is for personal.
motion by Supervisor Carver, who was the second on that? Second by Supervisor Trainer for the personal property, decreased assessment. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Second one would be for the real property. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
This may be a good spot to acknowledge that we do have a lawsuit that's within Pizza Place,
There's
Moretown
personal
Pizza,
property and real
that
property.
I received last week, and it has to do with the assessed value. You and I talked about it a little bit. The issue is that I was trying to figure out is with whether or not we would be allowed to fix this without, because we're saying that it was their fault that the numbers that they gave us were incorrect. And if there was a way to get over that, but there is a suit that's been filed against us, which technically is the tax assessor's office at that point. How does the board want me to y'all were talking $3,000 is what this amounts to. I'm using round figures, but they were asking for it to be put under erroneous tax sale, and from what I can tell, we don't have the ability to put it under that. Right. So, you want to explain a little bit better, because you've dealt with them beforehand.
Our appraisers went out and appraised the business when they first opened it. So the next year they get a rendition for it. On that rendition, they just put all the stuff that we already had listed. So we have to go by what they have on the rendition, whether it's right or wrong. We have no way of knowing. So we added it, made his bill go up, and he was upset about that. And then I told him, I said, well, the next year, take it off. You know, his sort of rule of thumb is we fix our stuff. that we make, and then, but, he didn't turn the rendition in until real late after the books were closed, and he did not take it off. All he put on the rendition was inventory value. So in 24, when he came in, of course his 23 bill was up again, I made him fix it, and I took it off, so his bill will go back down to what it was originally. But he's got 2 years of putting extra stuff on there that was already listed and not turning the rendition in on time.
And they were willing to have it be the offer they made me was for us not to give them money back, but for us to give them a credit for the next year. And here's the problem I've got. Without giving, there is not a legal route for me to go without being given the permission from the state to allow us to do this. There's just not a way for us to do this. So right now I'm kind of stuck in a situation where until they've told us, and I believe what they're saying, even based on what our assessment is, what they're telling us is correct, but they're the ones that made the mistake. We didn't make the mistake. So I don't have an avenue other than getting the state auditor's office to give us some idea of how to approach this. And right now they're telling us that you know, they made a mistake, they're gonna have to live with it. Until I get another question for that, until I get another answer based on that, we're gonna have to answer that and deal with it in court. And the court may tell us to give them a credit. I don't know. I don't want to suggest that I know what a judge is gonna tell us on this, but I don't know that they're not gonna pump this up to the auditor's office too.
So at this point though, you have no recommendation for action from the board?
I have no way of, from a common sense standpoint, I would love to be able to give them a credit. Just from purely, we're all in agreement that this was regardless of who made the mistake, but we don't have that option. That option, you're dealing with taxpayer money, and until the auditor's office tell us that that's the way to do it, I'm not given the go-ahead to do anything until we've been given permission to do it.
Okay.
However,
so in a situation like that, would the individual be encouraged to file a complaint with the state office in regards to this now?
I talked to him about that. He went ahead and filed instead of going the route that I would have went, he went ahead and filed a lawsuit. So we've got a pending lawsuit that I'm gonna have to answer. Matter of fact, I've already basically answered what I can answer for the time being, but we haven't moved forward with it until we met, so I could at least tell y'all what's going on.
Lacking any legal remedy, the court order may be exactly what we need in order to.
You're nailing where my mind is too. So if he tells us, I've told the attorney on the other side, he got kind of fussy about it. I said, look, I'm not the arbitrator of this. You're asking us to make a decision based on no rule of law that I'm aware of. I said, if there is, give it to me. And instead of giving me the rule of law, he filed a lawsuit. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't mean to sound funny about it, but it just is what it is. I just wanted y'all to be aware of what's going on.
Anything else from tax assessor collector, Bob?
No, that was it.
Okay. Thank you. Next we've got our county engineer, Mr. Clyde Bridges.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Got a few things to run by y'all today. And of course, open to any questions that you may have. In your board packet, you have a revised program from Moore High Road. And the reason for that revision is original estimate several months ago was 1.8 million and change. Our new estimate on that road is around 1.3 million, so we'd like to revise the program so state aid can balance y'all's funds accordingly. Okay, so I'd ask that you consider that program. I'll need original signatures and stamps.
Second for approval on the revision.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussions? I guess I've got one discussion. Since the amount is reduced, does the 500,000 come back into it?
It would be in your state aid fund. Technically, it hadn't been removed because the program was never signed. This will just show the balance available. Okay?
Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
That said, we have the plans prepared for Moorhigh, Robinson, Crawford Road, since it touches all three. And I would entertain a board order that upon approval of the program that you just authorized and approval of these plans, we advertise the project. Contingent on state aid approval of the plan.
Yeah, Moorhigh, Crawford, all that, yeah.
Moorhigh, Robinson, Crawford Road.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
So what will happen, they will, when y'all sign the program, they'll go to state aid, they'll approve it, they'll give us a project number to put on these and review the plan. And when we've made any changes that they got, we can advertise. Alright? Following up a little bit on the discussion this morning, I understand you want to deduct the striping on Williams Road, is that correct?
Yeah, and I like the idea that you presented about a countywide striping program with the possibility of striping being less to be able to stripe roads. And then maybe we can get more roads striped with that type of thinking.
The discussion was, and we've had this before for the benefit of the new supervisors, that at some point in time, we could do a countywide striping project that would be perhaps some state aid roads, some bond roads, some in each of the districts, and that you'd be dealing with one or two or three striping contractors. You'd not be paying a markup to a general because they would just be doing, and perhaps get more done at a lesser price.
Well, I like that idea, I don't know.
So, let me back up just a hair. Douglastown Road, Supervisor Howard, Douglastown Road, striping was in that bid, you want it left in that bid?
If you plan on doing a countywide striping,
That's y'all's call. And if we've awarded the contract.
let's go ahead and keep it in that one.
Okay, Sturgis Maitland, same thing. Now, that's a longer road, 7 miles. So, but right now your bid has striping and markings in it.
Keep mine in there.
Okay.
We're finishing that whole project with that.
Alright. Following up County Lake slurry job, those contracts have been approved, Supervisor Howard, so I expect that work to be done in the spring.
Okay, thank you. Just for clarity, for anyone that might be watching, this is the south end of County Lake Road.
Correct.
South of the 4 lane.
Correct. From 82 to 182. Sturgis West Point Bridge has been awarded. We'll be planning the pre-construction on that. And I'll let you know the date. That's not something necessarily you have to be at. It's just where we make sure that the contractor is, getting everything prepared and ready to go to construction. So that's with Tallahatchie, and then Crawford will be extended to the spring for that. Okay? There was some conversation last time about local bridges, and Supervisor Howard and I have had a pretty good conversation about that. And what we've done, there's a gap in communication. And Supervisor Little, you asked for a copy of the report on that bridge at South Ridge by email. And this is just an example, but I've got you a copy of it. In 2020, there's a report that we did with state aid, because it was a state aid bridge. Reinforced head wall boards are rotten and failing. And in 23, we come back, rear forward head wall boards rotting, need replaced. So they're getting looked at, but the information wasn't getting where it needed to be. And I don't know if that's all. I've got to call in to Harry Lee to see if that communication is coming through them, if it needs to come directly from us. We don't mind. We'll modify our system to update and make sure any of these little notes right here get to y'all. So I'll give you copies of those.
I would say, I know that you being an expert in your and you having years and years of data, and being newly elected to this position, I would just request if you see the top 5 to 10%, have we got major problems like this one? You know, communication is simple as sitting here and saying, these are the ones, you know, I know that all of them are bad and probably all of them need some repair, but there's definitely problematic bridges that need attention.
Been communication, in all fairness, that didn't get communicated. I'll leave it to that. So what I'm suggesting to you is we've talked about the small span bridges, and I know Supervisor Howard went to a bridge seminar in there. As David has been going out doing the bridge inspections, he's been identifying these small span bridges and putting on a map. I can come to you probably in January with how many of these structures are in your individual districts. I would encourage you to have us inspect those also. We can develop what the price of that is. It won't be as expensive as state aid because we don't have to do a 20-page report. If you come back and say, this bridge, these pictures, it needs this kind of thing. But that way we could do a summary report that would have your small spans in there, the headlines of these larger reports for the state aid for each district. That would be my recommendation to the board.
That's a good recommendation because we need every bridge in our county inspected. I think it needs to be a meeting of the minds between our engineer, our road manager, administrator, and the board as to what triggers. At some point, there's got to be some action recommended from our engineer. When a bridge gets to a certain point, there's got to be some recommendations that action needs to be taken on this bridge. And what's been happening is bridges have been getting inspected, most have, and the information has been documented to a certain extent, but that's where it stopped at. I mean, maybe there was something related to a road manager, but this information has not been reaching the board of the seriousness of the condition of our bridges. That's where we need to start bridging this gap. This board needs to be fully aware that our engineer has now, the trigger mechanism has been tripped. That we now need to make sure we're fully aware that something needs to start taking place to recommend, to remedy.
The best way to do that is going to be on a formal report per district. To say, here's a little map with all your bridges, A, B, C, D, E, they all got a number, here's what we see. Right there. And back to your comment on the road manager. Yeah, there was some communication that didn't get communicated. I'm not laying it all there, but, you know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, still, I don't think the engineer should just rely on the road manager relaying this information. When you come up to give your engineering report, if there's a bridge that has reached a certain level of decay, I think that needs to be relayed to the board doing this report to say, listen, Wade Road Bridge is now at that critical stage. Something needs to be done.
I agree. The way to do that is in a formal document. Keep in mind your state aid bridges, with some exceptions, are getting looked at every 2 years. Alright, so what we would do is put those 19-foot or smaller bridges or, you know, on that same cycle.
Right.
You know, there's not really any need for the inspector to go by and be looking at a state aid bridge and then and pass another bridge on the way and come back a year later and do that. So we would try to put them on the same cycle.
I think we just need to have a threshold, like whatever the state does before they start shutting bridges down. We need to be 2 steps ahead of that. And I think we budgeted for a part-time county engineer, maybe have somebody here that's got, frees up some time to go and learn the business and go look. And I guess I would say you're always going to be a few years ahead of the state to not get any surprises. They came in and inspected. And that's just, like I said earlier, being newly elected, I would like to know a threshold of, whatever those numbers are, in your head, convey it simply to me where you could, Ben, this is your top 3. We need to look at these. The rest, I think we've got a few years.
And we can do that, and Ben, this predated you, but to complement the board, if you remember, before ERBR1 hit, this board attacked 5 bridges in the county, on county dollars.
What year was that?
That was, gosh, y'all help me, 5, 6 years ago, but y'all got ahead of the curve on 5 of them before even the ERB got here. Some of them we were able to convert back. All right, with that, lighter note, we've taken bids on Morgantown Bridge this week. It's on the 5th, 10 o'clock in this boardroom. We had a pre-bid last week on site. 2 of our prospective bidders showed, with the intent of explaining the road geometry, the 90-degree curves, the posted bridges on the way, all the challenges we're putting into this together. To date, we've not had anybody call and say we can't do this job, so we're looking forward to get through it. Last thing I had, and Mr. Carter, I don't know if you shared this or not, but we took some time in the office to develop this spreadsheet.
Yeah, I've got it as part of my report. You're welcome to share it.
Well, I want the board to understand, this is a sheet we put together to try to explain, to help Mr. Carpenter on the projects we had working with the county, which ones were state funded, which one of them had LSBP, which had bond, which had this and that, what those projections and costs were. This is a living document. It changes as we bid work, as we award work, as funding mechanisms change, but we have provided that to him, and we'll continue to update this as we award these jobs.
Do we have a copy of that?
I have a copy, I'm gonna share it during my report, or you're welcome to look at it now.
No, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, you'll see some notes in here about status, like program, preliminary, design stage, under contract, this and that. Y'all are welcome to call me and ask me what that means if you don't understand it. And, but that's this is kind of county road and bridge as we understood it at the time we put it together. Okay?
Something else that y'all need to be aware of, there's a timing issue that's in place here, and I won't puzzle up too much. I wanted to be able to get out of the building, but this is the first time since I've been attorney and watching some of these numbers, he has waited until some of the prices went down on some of this stuff, so he's got some significant money savings. I don't know if y'all realize probably $500,000 on that one, and then there's potentially some other ones that are out there. He didn't say it.
Savings, but I got plans to spend.
Well, before you leave, we had 2 items come in. We got a OSARC authorization to issue a construction work order to Vance Brothers.
Is this for the
on the County Lake Road?
That's the slurry sale, correct.
Okay, and then we got a OSARC authorization to issue construction to Vance Brothers.
Yes, that's the same job.
Same job, Sturgis West Point Road.
No, the Sturgis West Point should have been Tallahatchie Construction.
Yep.
Did you see that?
One of them.
Tallahatchie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna borrow you.
And
And so do we need board orders to move forward with those, to issuing those construction work orders is my question, I guess.
No.
Okay.
I
You have
have
everything
the
you need?
authorization here to send them and put them under contract
Okay.
and start their time and pre-construction, etc. That is state aid,
Okay.
that's state aid concurrence, if they look at the contracts, the bonds, the bids, the fees, everything, and they're good with it. The green book.
I just wanna make sure you have everything you needed, so you
I
can.
think I've got everything I need on those. Yeah, I got it. All right, any other questions?
Yeah, with the countywide striping, would that be contingent on how many participants we have, individuals who are interested in, supervisors even who are interested, or roles that we have that we can include in the countywide striping? I don't know whether you will do
The
a
more
survey.
miles you can put together, the better price you're gonna get.
Right.
Again, you should be saving the markup from a subcontractor to a contractor on these individual projects. I would suggest that late spring, maybe, we have at least a tentative list of the roads that you think you'd like to strike.
Yeah, I
And
like
we
that.
could put that together and, consider an advertisement for it.
Do we then report those roads to you, so you
Yes,
can
I
start
would say
compiling.
if you would get.
You can start compiling those roads.
Get
maybe.
your list together by late spring on roads that you think you might wanna add to a striping contract, and we can put that together. Okay? You can do maintenance on a state aid road on your own. And if you're striping a state aid road with county dollars, that's just your state aid dollars are still in the kitty, yeah.
I mentioned to let the striping start in Douglastown.
Yeah.
The projected start of Douglastown will be in the spring.
In the spring.
Late spring
Right.
of the year. Could you have a striping project together by then, put out bids?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay.
That's what we're worried about too on another road.
Yeah, and on those projects, I think it behooves you to leave it in there. We're gonna, as a matter of routine, include the striping on the job. I mean, put it in a contract. Y'all can deduct it if you like, but we're gonna have striping and signage in there. We have to. Okay?
Brian, is there anything that can be sprayed on the roads to help give them some leeway to, I mean, a lot of what's been talked about is health issues with the dust. You know what I'm concerned about in terms of that. Is there anything that we could spray out there that would give us
There are some products out there for dust control, and they're used quite a bit in Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, where they have all this. Supervisor Little Bend, do y'all remember how many miles of gravel road I told you we had in the county?
Well, you told me one time that, I was gonna say this earlier, I want you to correct me. I thought we had 680 road miles and 333 were gravel, was that even the same?
That's about right.
It's such an easy number to remember, but I could
think
not, when you said
500.
that earlier about the,
About 230, I think.
I met with the two of
It's
you
insane
supervisors in a pre-meet, here's what's coming kind of deal, and there's something like 600 plus miles of road in the county, and 300, and I believe 333 is the number that's coming out, or not paid.
it's wild number.
It's a big number.
Big number.
So, yes, I can research those products and bring them to you.
I just hate that, I mean, this is every single board meeting they're being hit with, and one of the primary issues is health issues that are tied to the dust. And I don't want to see something.
One of the things that happened is historically, the dust control methods were oil and petroleum-based products, and those are no longer being used for environmental purposes.
You can't put a thin layer of something on a road that keeps the dust from rising? You're saying there used to be something
There
that,
used to be, there are products now, but they're not petroleum-based like they used to.
well, I think,
They were at one time.
I mean, I think it's time,
Yeah, and keep in mind, any of these products are gonna work for a fixed period, so it may be something you wanna figure out which road you wanna do. You wanna do them late spring before dry part of the summer hits, you're not doing them in the winter necessarily, we're in an extraordinary drought right now, so we still got dust. But there may be something that you wanna put a schedule to.
I think though we need to look, I mean, I'll be honest with you, look at Clifford. I've got a lot of gravel roads, but if there's a house every half a mile, and it's a lot of ag purposes, I mean, that doesn't make as much sense. If it's a high density, I need to ride out there and look. But if it's a high density, if it's one of those that's highly residential and it's getting a lot of, garbage truck use and that, I mean, we've got a couple that we need to put to the top of the list. I need to ride out there, honestly. I'll try to do that the next day or two. And just look at it.
Longview
And how
Road,
close?
Longview
How-
Road was a prime example, and it took how many years to pave Longview?
A long time.
15 plus.
Yeah.
Just took out some out there. Longview Edison, let's see, that,
Alright.
Need motion to acknowledge, engineer's report, motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Garber. Any other discussion, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Pritchard. I thought we were gonna move through the agenda quicker than we have. If it pleases the board, can we go ahead and get Mr. Joe McHiggins up from the link and let him, address the board?
do
Is
that.
is that okay with the board?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Higgins?
Thank you, sir. I'm here today to talk about, the Candlewood sweeps deal. Y'all probably saw in the newspaper. We were at city council some days ago, the holidays got me mixed up.
Does this need to be an executive session, or is this something that, there was a recommendation in our
It,
I don't think so.
they wanted to go in executive session when we went to the city. We didn't know what the city was gonna do, okay? They went in executive session and asked for a notice of intent. The city unanimously approved it. Alderman Vaughn had to leave, he wasn't there, everybody else voted for it. And then reported out. So the information regarding the specifics of the deal probably are in public domain now, okay? The question is, if you've got questions you wanna ask that you'd rather ask in executive session, that's up to y'all.
Well, no, I mean, executive session typically is just upcoming litigation, personnel issues and things like that.
Real type stuff, and this could be a part of that, but I will say this, if this is already out in the public domain, the issues that we're worried about,
Yeah.
I would assume let's just do your thing.
Yeah, okay. And again, if you're not comfortable taking a vote or doing something today, I think the opportunity is gonna, if you wanna act, you can act today. If you wanna kick it to the next meeting, you got that too,
And
okay?
this is the standard contracts that they send out for the, tell them the specifics.
Yeah, okay.
You know what the deal is.
So, I wanna remind everybody, we don't recruit retail. We used to in the olden days, when we went to the 3 counties, we're busy on industrial. We really don't recruit retail. We do provide technical assistance, okay? So if you'll remember the Guerin project, where Guerin's headquarters used to be, well, we did that mall deal. We did the mill back in the day that's on MSU's, that the convention center and all that. We provide technical assistance. We don't go out and get the client, bring them in and say, here you go, let's do this deal. We were contacted by the developer's representative, Gurson Associates, several months ago, and said, we've got a project in Starkville, we want to look at doing a TIF, okay? And that's what's typically been done. That's what's been before y'all, Mr. Howard, your whole time, TIFs, tax increment financing, which means, Middleton Court, where Umi's is, that was one. There's been several done over the years. But basically, you take what the property's on the books for, you take the difference in the improvements that are done to the work, and they're able to issue bonds on the incremental increase. Okay, works best on a greenfield site, but that's what we've typically done. A few years ago, we started looking at RETA, Regional Economic Development, and we think it's a better mousetrap. Okay, just straight up a better mousetrap, because under TIF, once the developer makes the investments, it goes on the tax rolls, they're collecting taxes, the bonds have to be issued, the full amount has to be paid to that developer, and there you go. Under RETA, it allows us to rebate over time a portion of their money, almost a performance-based deal. We first used this on Lee Mall in Columbus. They wanted a TIF, they couldn't tell the city and the county who the people were. Chris Pace said, hey, let's look at RETA, and we did RETA for them. We recently have done RETA, the same process I'm fixing to talk to y'all about, with the Rural King project in Columbus. And on the multiple articles I've read on the Target in Tupelo, it looks like they're doing the same thing. I think it's a better mousetrap. We anticipate bringing legislation this year to the state to allow for RETAs to be, right now it has to be 2 governmental entities partnering. We want to do it where 1 governmental entity can do it. We want to make that change. Right now, MDA has to approve anything you do. We want to take that approval out of the deal. But right now, it requires 2 governmental entities. Now, it doesn't have to be a city or county. It can be a city and another city entity. But given the fact that the county has taxing ability and funds, that's why it makes more sense for two entities. So this project, I'll tell you where it is. It's on a vacant lot behind Academy Sports and in front of the movie theater. So if you're going to the movie, when you get to that cul-de-sac, if you turn right to go to the movie, it's right there. Okay, so it's smack in between those 2 facilities. I just looked at, and then Land Glide's not always right, but it's pretty close because it ties to your records. It shows that lot's on the books for $220,000. Okay, that's what it's on the books for. I'm not saying it is, it isn't. I'm just saying that at some point we'll have to, if y'all move forward, we'll have to go to the county, or your tax assessor collector. So what was proposed when we went to the city is the developer said they can't make this project pencil without $1 million help. Okay, so the request was $1 million. We looked at it with TIF, we looked at it with Rita, we pitched Rita to the developer, they looked at TIF, they said, yeah, we agree with you, Rita's the right way to go. So we went to the city council and we asked for 75% of the net new sales tax and 100% of the ad valorem tax be pledged to the project for up to 10 years. Now the way these Ritas work, you agree on a number, and when they get to that number, they're done. If they never get to that number and the time expires, sorry, so sorry. If they get to that number a year or 2 years before you think they were, as soon as they get to the cap, it's done. So the $1 million, 75% of sales tax, 50% of ad valorem tax, 100% ad valorem tax, and they, in the executive session, they said, we don't want to do that. We would rather go a longer term and less net new sales tax. So what they passed a notice of intent to approve was 50% of the net new sales tax and 100% of the ad valorem tax.
Over a longer period?
Over a 12-year period. Over a 12-year period.
They're getting the cap over more elongated. Let me ask you a question. Does the city and the county under Rita got to be both by state law? Do they have to match each other? Ours can be a different formula?
Yeah, yours can be a different formula. So what we did is when we started looking at this with the TIFs and the other, we started out with one number, and then when I got to pull up my cheat sheet. I'm sorry. When we started looking at the other, we said, well, it probably can't be 50% or 100% of the county's taxes, ad valorem taxes, because you got all these special levies, right? You've got escrow account, reappraisal, countywide bridge, volunteer fire department, EMCC support, EMCC enlargement, EMCC community, OCHs, road and bridges, industrial. You've got all these special levies. So we met with the developer and their consultant. We said, we don't think these special levies need to be applied to that. We think the only numbers that can be applied to that are the general fund number, which I'm coming up with 29.59 mils. Okay? And I'm doing the math on the $10 million investment bin, and I'm coming up with 38,970, call it $39,000, $40,000. Plus or minus.
Of tax abatements?
This will be a rebate. It won't be a tax abatement. They'll get appraised. They'll pay their taxes, and you'll collect their taxes. And under Rita, you will be allowed to give them a rebate of what is agreed to annually. Annually.
Just quickly about Rita, does the same still apply when it comes to school taxes?
They'll still pay school tax. Our calculation is that the school ad valorem with this project will increase $85,591. OCH is in there for about $4,600, EMCC $3,000. County road and bridges, that's not in the deal. I know that's a topic of discussion. That's about I'm rounding up 21,000, 20,861. So those are not in there. And so what the request that we've been asked to bring is 100% of your ad valorem less the special levies. Today, because it changes if you change your millage or your assessment goes up or down, changes are about that $40,000 a year for up to 12 years until they get the $1 million. Okay, there are 3 things that have to be done to do this. You have to approve an alliance with the city. Okay, you have to approve the development agreement with Candlewood Suites and the city, and you have to do the redevelopment agreement. So there's 3 documents that are required to be passed. The city did a notice of intent, announced it out, 85 rooms, $10 million, I think the number's closer to 10.5 now. Location, all that stuff. We got the documents prepared. I got these Friday, day after Thanksgiving. had to go copy them Saturday. We got these Friday. We were of the belief that the city would entertain their documents tomorrow, at their meeting tomorrow night. The mayor told me that they're going to entertain it on the 17th.
I thought they've already voted on this.
They did a notice of intent, which is kind of a moral and ethical, yeah, you get the paperwork done up and we'll approve this. But evidently they got a full plate tomorrow night and they didn't want to add this, and they said we want to do it on the 17th.
Joe, did anything substantially change from the contract that I
Previously?
looked at the other MP?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, that's all. Okay.
No.
I would say this.
The percentages that I just referenced, the cities. Yeah.
So that's the difference. That's
The 12 years and
wasn't it 15 years at some point?
it was 10.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't think we want to do these longer than 50, we think 10 years is just a good
Yes, sir.
number. But they changed 10 to 12, Rob, and they changed, 75 to 50.
Okay. I've read
Nothing
it.
on y'all's side.
Nothing on our side. Okay.
I'll say the only thing.
10 to 12 on our side.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
$80,000,
It's what?
additional $80,000 is your estimate.
Or the time, it's not an additional, because they've got only 10 years. If they're going 12 years, they're probably not getting they're not getting big licks. In other words, if it takes them 12 years to get there, you're still capped at $1 million.
The county's capped or the overall?
The overall deal is capped.
So do we know what the share of the county is?
It's gonna be 40, it's gonna be 40,000. The cities, oh God, I can't remember those numbers. I don't think I can find them quickly. The city's gonna have more in the deal with sales tax. Their ad valorem taxes are less than y'all's. But they've got sales tax on top of it.
And we don't get the sales tax.
I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't think that it's 80,000 more by going 2 more years. If it is, this thing's struggling and it's taken a long time for them to get there. The other night we went did some quick gyrations, and at 10 years we thought it would pay off in 8, and at 12 years, now that was at 75%. At 12 years, we still think it's going to be closer to 10, but they want up to 12 years.
I guess the whole share got rearranged when the city went to 50%. And put more burden on the county. I'd like to see that math at some point.
Okay.
You did mention 29 meals, so those 29 meals will have to be accounted for some kind of way.
29.59, yeah, is schools, full boat, everything we're calculating at 124.61, that includes the schools and all the special levies. Of that 124.61, 29.59 would be allocated to this project.
Not the way he's described it.
So you wanna make a motion, take it on the Bible before the consideration?
When do y'all meet next, Mr. Chairman?
We hadn't set that.
We're gonna set that.
It'll be the 3rd. But no, the 10th. Are we gonna meet that recess meeting on the 10th with Austin?
Yeah, we talked.
Well, a meeting that you would like reason I'm saying is the city meets the 17th. If we're gonna make changes, I'm trying to figure out, they wanna get this done by the end of the year, obviously. And we're getting into Christmas and that gets kinda hairy. Everybody's traveling and going. I'm just trying to figure out when the next time we need to come back.
We can, on the 10th, if we can handle this, if everybody's comfortable with the numbers by then.
We should have everything by then, shouldn't we?
Okay.
That's fine with me. I just,
I'll get
before that
something
meeting, I'd like to
I'll
have
get
an
something
opportunity to
Saturday.
analyze your numbers there.
Yeah, it's never gonna, these deals are never gonna add up. My gut is the city's gonna have slightly more money. Hang on just a second on the off chance that I can answer your question. I can answer it,
But the obligation of $1 million, that $1 million, does it just the county, or does the city have that much in it too, or is it
No,
combined?
$1 million total. Yeah. In other words, let's make it Mr. Howard. So Mr. Howard, you got $1 million, and the city's gonna pledge half of their sales tax, and all of their ad valorem, and the county's gonna ship all of their ad valorem in their general fund, and you get that money until you get to $1 million. And if you don't get to $1 million in 12 years, sorry, so sorry. And if you get to it in 8, then the deal goes away.
What Mr. Carpenter is saying, when they went to 12 years and 50% of the sales tax, it increased the amount that the county would be responsible for of that $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, the math would have to work that way.
Yeah, and about 40 grand a year would be the guess.
But that's 40 grand above what we were getting before, correct?
Yeah, this is all net new money.
Yes.
This is not, the important part of the takeaway here is this is not something that you're taking away. That's 21,000 more money in the road money, about $3 grand to EMCC, about 4,600 OCH, about 85.6 to the schools, and then she and I lumped in increase in miscellaneous villages. That's a whole bunch of little things of about $6,300. But we can do that. That's not a problem.
So we've got a motion to take this under advisement until the 10th. Second by Supervisor Little.
Train
Train made the motion. Any other questions for Mr. Higgins?
Yeah, is the payoff contingent on the fact that the project really does well?
Yeah, so here's how this will work for y'all, okay, for the county. Once y'all sign this agreement, we will be in contact with your tax assessor collector, and we will say, what is this on the books for today? That'll be the benchmark year. And then each and every year, we will calculate. Now, and if they don't have to increase it every year, we'll say, what's the increase over the benchmark year? And they will be entitled to a rebate. And y'all will calculate that, and we'll rebate it to them. And we'll rebate it to them, and we'll rebate it to them. If they don't build it, they don't make it, they go bankrupt, something bad happens, then that can go down, okay? On the city side, and the scorekeeper for you will be your assessor collector. Somebody that's in this courthouse that works for us, it's our people. On the city side, the company has to sign a document allowing the Department of Revenue to release their numbers to us, okay? Because that's typically not public information. And we'll do the same thing. We'll say how much sales tax is generated on that parcel. Well, we can sit here today and know absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. So there'll be nothing, but then we'll have to get their scoring each year to see how they do. And, they're trying to capitalize on the recreation complex. Y'all know that. It's on that side of town, out by the fields. That hotel should fill up.
Okay, sell us on the project. I know I've seen that we're utilized on the amount of
about 300 rooms
on game day weekends.
Yeah, well, about 300 rooms is what we calculated, and the cities calculated concurred to. Y'all about 300 rooms too poor. Now, let's be truthful with you. On a real slow day, all the rooms aren't filled up, right? But when they start filling up on a game, let's use a game for example, but it ain't just a game, guys.
I say it's 34 to 36 weekends here.
Well, I was at MSU last year, and we met with a prospect, and they said they couldn't get rooms in Starkville State in Columbus. And I said, well, it's not game day weekend. Guys, it was spring break. It was spring break week. But that year, they had a landscape architecture convention here. And they had 500 or 600 landscape architects here for a convention. Stuff you don't think about. You don't think about graduation. You don't think about the new recreation complex.
Right.
And we're starting to tell industrial prospects, if you know you're going to be here a lot, don't depend that you can always get a room. And more of them are looking at buying or leasing condos or apartments so that when their executives come in, we know we got a place for you to stay. But they're always not full, but when they're full, and when y'all get full, guess where they go? Columbus, West Point, and then when those get full, they go somewhere else.
Any other questions?
I got one more question. If we can back up just a second. What's gonna be the trigger for this rebate? Is the company gonna apply, send in a request for the rebate? Or are you guys keeping track of all that?
Yeah,
or-
we're gonna set this up where they'll send in a request to all three, us and y'all, okay? And we're asking for our rebate this year.
There you go.
We'll sit down with y'all and, we'll probably ask you to run down and get your numbers, tell us what your numbers are. Once you tell us what your numbers are, I think we'll all look, say, yep, this is a number, that's what they're due back. City will be a little harder because we'll have to go to Department of Revenue and get that number. And then true up, and in a perfect world, I think probably what and moving forward on these, if we do these will probably be the way to do. You probably need to keep a running total of where they are with on the nut that they're getting, $1 million, and that's everybody. So we can tell y'all at any one given time where we are.
Well, at some point, will you provide a report seeing the city's share, our share?
Oh, yeah.
They do the request, I do mine, but I don't know what the city's doing.
Yeah. And I'm saying that'd be public information. So everybody on the email, here's the share, here's the request, here was the net increase in sales tax, here was the net in ad valorem, here's the county share, here's the city share, boom. Year 1, year 2, year 3, just keep a running total where we know. Because somebody's going to have to sit there with the whistle and blow when it gets $10 million and say stop. And in a perfect, the way it'll happen is they'll request, or if they hit the $10 million, the $1 million, they'll hit the number and they won't be entitled to all of it. In other words, they'll get a portion to get them up to the $10 million, and then you'll keep a portion. But
okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thank y'all, and we'll be back here on the 10th.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
You think, thank you.
Does anyone need a break?
Aye.
Okay, we'll take a quick 5-minute break.
Electrical Systems Company, which is a database sharing tool for the jail inmates, things like that. Information that comes through the corrections side of things. They currently have 36 million plus in that database. They are in the agreement. They are requesting that we have 2 users from the sheriff's office, 2 designees that can relate back and forth between the sheriff's office and that company, and basically share data, our data, to include the data that they've got in their system as well, that we can utilize for our purposes, criminal investigation purposes, things like
Now,
that.
the data that you're giving them is public information, right? You're
Yes.
not sharing
Yes.
anything that's not already public.
Correct, yes. And in the agreement, it's a no cost.
No call, that's what
Yeah.
we're looking for. No
No
call. I'm looking
cost.
through here a few minutes ago, and I'm looking,
I know, I looked at that too, and I didn't see him.
Yeah, 36 month, I'm sure after that 36 month,
Yeah,
things will probably
I
change.
saw that part, that's
But,
good. You need that type of information, I
Yes,
would think, you know.
yes, sir. But I know Rob has checked over the agreement as well, anything other than that.
That was the only question I had when Maurice and I were talking, where's the cost of this?
Right.
They're giving us a taste of this to see how it will work for us, and I guarantee you they'll be charging us.
Get you hooked on.
You're exactly right.
Need a motion to accept, motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
That's all I
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Next, we've got, a road manager, Mr. Collins.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
We're gonna make this quick, fast, and of course, we got, our monthly board. Here, and also we got a work project and equipment, booklet here that's, I'm not gonna get into those, they just kind of self-explanatory. The new one is something we're gonna bring in on not a monthly deal, but just when we got stuff going on and we wanna make reference to it. Also, we got on the Silver Ridge, and that's on our road manager report.
That Silver Ridge,
Well,
the
this,
bridge.
yeah, I'm gonna we'll, I guess, get the road manager report out of the way first, knowing what we do.
Okay. That's the blue.
That's the blue folder and the black folder. We spoke on.
Motion for approval on both.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion?
Yeah, I was wondering, I knew like before on capitalization, we didn't have any, and now this time we don't have any capitalization in there.
Well, it's none that has been done this
In the last
time.
couple
Yeah.
of months.
The last capitalization we had was back when we was doing the paving. And so we hadn't been doing any on that behalf this time.
Are you talking about
Next we have this is a project that was here when I got here, and we voted back last year to make the repairs to Silver Ridge Road according to the way the state wanted us to. Those repairs was finished on last week, and we got our photocopies of it. I'm gonna pass them around, of those repairs and what they were at and what we did. And this was awarded to B.J. Hampton Construction to do that work, and it was finished on last week.
You got one?
Right.
And this bridge had rusty pilings, and what they did, they went in and they removed as much of the rust from them as they could. They welded plates on them, and then they were encased in concrete to make the structure stronger. And this bridge will be, the weight will be reevaluated by the state. We're hoping to get a substantial amount of increase on weight capacity on this bridge behind this repair. We got a few more out there that we got done, and we got one that we found ourselves. We're gonna go ahead on and try to get that and set up, get everything ready, get it into a project and bring it to the board. And it is in District 4. It's on, I believe that's gonna be, McCann Road. It's a little small structure on there. Well, it ain't small, it's two-wheel, bridge, but it does have some rusty pilings on it. And we're gonna try to get that into a project and have it ready and try to get an estimate on it for the board on next month.
And I know we discussed a little bit while our engineer was here, but we do need to go ahead and move on putting together that meeting on our bridges. So we can get on top of it.
Yeah. Also, this is one on Pollybell Road. That one has been completed except for putting the pavement back on it, and we're gonna let it settle for just a little while, and then we'll go back and put pavement on it. And this is, I think I gave out the, well, no, I'm sorry. This is for the, let me go ahead on and handle this. This is for a tree or trees on Pollybell Road at 1993. They're just outside of the right of way, but they are actually, as you can see by the pictures in this tree is leaning back toward the road and could fall. But one good thing about it, it hadn't reached rotten state yet. So we're asking the board to get approval, to have these trees removed. And we have, I think you have a quote for it in your package for $1,200
We still gonna hold that price for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Would that be the same price for other trees that?
So far, he said he's gonna try to stay with that price, so,
That's the same, is that the guy that we got the bid from?
yes. This is outside of the bid, and that's why we getting approval for it. This is not one of the trees that was in the bid.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, in your booklet is where you'll find the Poly Bell Bridge repair.
I just wanna tell you how much I appreciate you getting on that, getting it taken care of, and getting that road back open, that emergency repair on that bridge.
And
Yeah,
right
did a
now,
wonderful job.
all right, we thank you on that. And now we have moved to Harpo Road. They started digging out on it today. We hope that we can get that bridge opened up before the week out.
Good deal, good deal. It was in the same state. It was.
Oh, yeah.
In a state of emergency, so.
It was.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Now, we have a covered request to enter property for Chad Garnett at 3622 North County Line Road. He's wanting to put a covered in to enter his property.
Make a motion, we approve the request.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Carver. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I think we have everything.
Oh, we missed it.
3622 North County Line Road.
Chad, go ahead. While we're on culverts, I've got a request for 204 Keel Road, culvert to enter property.
Hill or kill?
Keel.
Lieutenant Keel.
Second motion.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Williams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And that name I put out there, that's not who it's for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just making reference who the road was named after. But, onward from that, I think, only other thing is, we got a truck that we sending back to Warren, one of the 450s. The pump is not putting out adequate pressure, and they're gonna replace that pump. It'll be leaving here about, 4:30 in the morning, headed to Collins. I just wanted to let the board know that it'll be traveling.
If you can, revisit the idea about getting rid of the waste dirt. I don't know if y'all came up with a process yet, but I still would like for y'all to come up with something so we can get some of that stuff moved.
We'll get rid of it. We'll figure out something. Just
Yeah.
call me when you get a break. I know you're
Okay.
going. Even if it's later in the evening, just call me and I think I may have an idea.
Okay. All right, I believe that covers everything that I had.
Tonight's the parade, we've got a shiny dump truck ready.
Yes, I just wanted to know how many we need.
He's saying dump truck, I thought it was dump truck, talking about a gray at 450.
Yeah, we come out one of them
I don't
450.
think I was driving a dump truck.
I just want, how many we gonna need?
That's what I need to know too.
It's 800 now, Tom. 800 dump truck too, isn't it? 800 or something like that.
Yeah, but that, it won't be one of them. That 800 dump truck is in this, and it's an old fire truck is what it was.
Yeah.
And we took it and converted it, and we're gonna be using it to pull a pothole patch. It's been a lot of work put in it, but we ain't put near the money in it as if we had bought a chassis.
I'm glad to hear you say pothole patch. We got a lot of
Well,
potholes.
it's hooked up and we're ready to get it back on
The
the
cold
road.
mix just doesn't really do the job.
Not like the pothole
Not
patch.
like the pothole.
Who's participating tonight, do we know?
I'll be.
Yeah, I plan on being
1,
there.
2, 3.
Need two of them.
Need 2 trucks.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get 2 of them ready.
All right, who's driving?
Supervisor Carter, you gonna drive one?
He driving another supervisor training.
Supervisor Trey gonna drive another?
I thought we had, you didn't.
I got a driver,
But
but.
that's what I'm saying, you gotta drive, I need to be doing waiting.
Okay. So we'll bring two up there, and we'll have them ready, and then we'll need one driver. We'll have one driver and start.
Time out. You gotta have two drivers.
Yeah, two drivers.
Well, now, Carl, supervisor.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna drive it back to the.
Well, okay, we'll have somebody to get it back. If nothing else, we'll take it to the courthouse and leave it at the courthouse.
If I'm in, I would like
And pick
to
it up in the
drive.
morning.
I'd like to drive one. To be
That may be the trick.
You wanna drive? So,
Yes,
But you gonna be there now? You gonna be there? Okay,
So if y'all would.
Here's what I think we need to do. He's gonna bring two dump trucks to the courthouse behind the admin shop. Y'all come on over there. And then when it's over, and then y'all go line up, and I'm gonna tell you all those details in a minute. Go line up, when y'all get through, you can bring them back and come get your cars.
What time you want us to meet over here?
We're gonna talk about all that in just one second. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you got a copy
Yeah,
of where.
I got them. And you got enough signs for both of them, or we just really need the front?
You already got yours.
I got a number of signs, we'll see.
No, I'm talking about the board of supervisors.
They don't, they won't
But
stick
you
on
have,
that.
you have.
It will on the bed.
Oh, it will?
On the bed.
You have those trucks over at my place at.
We'll have them there about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll have them at 3 o'clock, ready to go.
Perfect.
Tell
good.
the start.
Finally have a
Can we
board
get
of
the streets
supervisors.
swept and clean it up before this weekend?
Alright, and, well, let me go ahead on and take care of that too. Cause they always do, just in case they do. Like the board to approve the city of Sturgis to use a truck in the parade, or trucks. They always ask about it, and last year we kind of.
Let's, if you don't mind, let's just go ahead and include Maven, town of Maven, in case they want one.
Y'all have the dates for those two towns? I enjoyed Maven's last year. Y'all have the dates for these towns?
Maven's is the 17th.
Sturgis is this Saturday.
This Saturday coming up?
No, the 7th.
The 7th.
The 7th, Maven is the 7th, and Sturgis is the 7th. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be on the same day.
Same thing.
Hope not at the same
Matter
time.
of fact, I've gotta be a judge in the Maven.
Supervisor Lewis, are you gonna participate in that, Sturgis?
No.
Okay.
Send an email back.
I just knew they had reached out to you, I didn't know if you.
Their parade.
Their parade.
Last I talked to them, they said that.
Two for this one,
That they
and
hadn't heard
whatever
back.
is requested.
Whatever they need
Sturgis
for-
and Maven.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not gonna put a limit on them, I think last year.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay,
wanted
I'm
to,
ready
so.
for the
It's
second.
been motioned by Supervisor
Well,
Little, second by
well.
Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. That's for the town of Maven and Sturgis.
If y'all have nothing else for me, we're gonna.
Yeah, I have a
Okay,
sign.
go ahead.
Let me in. If you will, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
We constantly talk about improving and paving gravel roads. And, it's good that we have the milling machine. And I think that was a good purchase. But I guess in my opinion, now, just my opinion, look like we should have that milling machine busy. If we had the crew to be able to do it, have it busy pretty much every week or so. Trying to mill the road. I know you can't do it now. I know this is not the season for it.
Yeah.
This is not the season for it. But I'm saying when we get to that point, when we get to the season this spring and next summer, it would be a season for it. But I'm sure you planning, and I hope we get a crew together.
Well,
get a crew together that will handle
yeah.
that situation.
We have, and what we'll do, we'll utilize it we have to utilize it to grind up the road, mix in the soil cement, then it parks by the wayside until we get that paving done, and then we come back. So it's gonna depend on how many roads that we're paving, and then how many roads we're gonna mill. Cause we don't wanna mill them if we're not ready to lay the pavement back on. So it's gonna get its work out, I promise you that. All of them are. We got a bunch of new ones, and all of them are gonna get worked out.
Just one more question then. will you follow some kind of rotation in regards to that, where you'll be sure not to go back to an area or section that
We
you've
will.
already gone to?
We will. And, Supervisor Carver, we are working on, David and I is planning on getting together tomorrow to work on getting something worked up. We're gonna try to get, that slurry seal and everything worked in where we can get a project number on it and get an estimate on it. And then that way you'll know approximately what the cost is on those roads.
We've got a dead tree across, and I live in that area, it's on Augusta Drive, it's the worst, I mean, when I say dead, it's 5 to 8 years past. It's directly across the entrance from Augusta. If you go down there, like, you'll see it, it's, this one, doesn't even have any bark on the tree, it's fixing to fall the next windy day. You can't miss it, it's dropping into the road now.
And I welcome y'all to, if you happen to see one, just pick up the phone and call us, because we are trying to, we got crews that are out cutting, our limb crew has been out cutting, and it's, I think Supervisor Howard got a little surprise the other day, him and I was out, and I showed him some of the trees that was out there, and it wasn't a small number. We had the contractor back before when they cut a large number of trees to work Maven Bell School, and so far I think we've cut 36 on there, not counting the contractor. The county crew has cut 36 and removed 36 trees on just that road alone. So they are bad. They are bad. They are really bad.
That tree's gonna need to get cut pretty quick.
All right, I'll get it taken care of.
Anything else from our road manager?
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Mr.
Motion.
Carver.
Need a motion to acknowledge road manager's report. Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we've got our Chancery Clerk, Ms. Livingston.
The only thing I have is the affidavit of publication that we did for the Morgantown Bridge and McLaren Major.
Make a motion, we acknowledge that report.
Motion by Supervisor Trainer, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
That's all I have.
Now we've got our County Administrator, Mr. Carpenter.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Carpenter.
Most of these items are just routine, or the first few anyway. You have in your packets the payroll, changes that were included in your packets.
Second.
Been motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Payroll approval, any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
All right, you've got the claims docket in your packet. There's one thing I wanted to point out, this claims docket is extremely large. It might have surprised you, it did me. But what you also see in there is the disbursement to Guarantee Bank for the CD that we purchased. So that's what's causing that thing to be 22 million as opposed to.
Actual number is just 22 minus 18.
That's right, yes, sir.
Move approval.
Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Are we still signing that at the table?
Yeah, he gonna see Jim.
Oh, okay.
He's got the
You want me to-
green bar? No, it's just something you can pass around a little bit.
Yes. Finally, we got the credit card payment,
Want to approve
small amount of money.
for both Board of Supervisors and the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Little. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
There's one item that I did, maybe I just got it out of order, hold on. Yeah, all right, so, the next thing is, there was a big discussion that went on with, the Department of Finance with, Representative Robertson and, Bart Williams, Senator Williams, about the language between the two bills. So, tell you the story on this thing. It's a long story. FY 23
the House passed a bill 603 giving us $1 million bill over there by, Long Hospital, or where the hospital is located. In 2024, the Senate passed a bill giving us $1 million for Morgantown Bridge. When I requested that money, they went and told me that the intent of the legislature was for us to utilize the funds that were already appropriated in House Bill 603 back in FY23. And the discussion centered around the fact that if you read the language of both bills, we didn't have any authority to spend that money that was appropriated in FY23 for the purposes of Morgantown Bridge. So a lot of back and forth went on. Senator Williams got involved, and he got me in contact with somebody at DFA, and long story short, they've got a memorandum of understanding that they're asking us to sign. And what that memorandum of understanding does, it changes the purpose of that money that was originally appropriated in 23 to use for Morgantown Bridge in 24. And so that's gonna keep us covered with the auditors. I asked for a motion to approve that memorandum of understanding. It should have been in your packet.
So that's only 1 million, isn't it? It seemed like it was 2 million, this house.
It sure did seem like it, but it wasn't.
The house contributed a million.
That was my whole argument to begin
The
with.
house, we got 500,000, and we got that 500,000. But we were told we had $1 million of new money. And then somewhere along the way, it became money we already had. That, no, I don't know that we use it if they change.
Regardless, that money is the $1 million in the FY24 appropriation, Senate Bill 3054 is sitting in Jackson. They will not send it to me. They're saying that the intent of the legislature was for us to utilize the $1 million that was already provided to us in FY23. That was the whole contention that I was having with them, and that's hence the memorandum of understanding that they've sent down here for us to sign.
At this point, I think it's been decided that we're gonna have to use that $1 million that was appropriated in 23.
Possession's 90% of the law, and right now that $1 million is sitting in Jackson, and they won't send it down up here.
So we've got to do this MOU in order to release that money and get this project.
Yes, sir.
So need a motion.
Motion to sign the MOU. For $1 million.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Carver, that we sign the MOU to have the money released. Any other discussion? All in favor? The motion passes unanimously.
There's another item in your packet from Griffin United Methodist Church about parking.
Move approval, 3 years, 2,500 a year.
Yes, sir. That's an increase from the 2,100 that they requested last year.
Is this also for use by city of Starkville employees? I mean, just government employees? Or
They have been used.
It's
yeah,
only,
they have. I mean,
But it was designed to help with court overflow.
it's only for jurors and witnesses summoned to court.
I mean, that's all.
That's what the
my
agreement
question.
says.
I mean, the day-to-day, it gets used more by.
Well, it's been used by them, but if they decide they're gonna police it, I guess that'll be on them.
That's right. So we got an agreement where they can't get our jurors and witnesses.
Does it, so when they come to court, do they get directed? I mean, you've got something you say, hey, that's where you park down there on overflow?
When Tony gives his briefing, he lets the jurors and the witnesses know. Usually that first day is a little awkward. Folks don't know where to park, but once they get in there and get his briefing, he points them around to that other parking lot. And
are we good from a indemnification standpoint on this?
I would defer to our board attorney.
What was the question?
Are we indemnified for any break-ins or? I mean, this
As much as you can be indemnified, I mean, I hate to say it like this, y'all, the church is not gonna be responsible for it, and neither are we. We can't insure people's cars when they park, whether that be out front here or whether it be over there. So.
It's typical, like, you won't be a police report filed on
Keep in mind,
private
this is
property.
just between the church, and this is just to make sure that our price doesn't continue to pump up every year.
But that's the reason for the increase. There was an incident down there, and they had to increase their surveillance. And also, I think the insurer requires them to do some additional things. And so that's the reason why they're passing the cost along the, but it's still a good
It's reasonable.
opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Because if we don't take advantage of it, it's gonna cross some other years.
They don't
And by the
even-
city piggybacking off it, I just think it's just, if Griffin decides they're gonna police that, let them do that. I don't think so.
And I think our sheriff department and the police department have been good about, if a person happens to get a ticket for parking during court, you know, they bring it, they don't.
And the sheriff's usually there for the briefing, he tells them all that, you know, if you have difficulty parking or you get a ticket, bring it to me. And the reason I know all this is because I was on jury duty about a little over a month ago. It was a good experience.
I think it was motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer, to enter into that contract agreement for 3 years. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
And at some point prior to me coming on board, the board entertained a briefing, regarding some energy assessments. Somebody going around.
That's right.
And there was a board order issued to prepare a request for qualifications to perform this service, was my understanding of it. You should have in your packet that RFQ packet. What's that look like? This one? Yes, sir, that's it.
There should,
That draft stamped on the front of
yeah,
it.
you should have it. Is that the one we put in the?
It was in a yellow folder, showed up, that Ricky brought over, yes.
The address on the bottom of it's wrong, it's not 1
This is really a drag, y'all. This is,
I was gonna say the address is wrong.
you're gonna have to help me go through this, make sure it's correct. But that RFP actually came from another county that they've been doing business with, and I wanted y'all to look at it, and if there's something, whether y'all wanna do it or you don't wanna do it, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if there's anything you wanna change on that.
And I think at the time the gentleman did the briefing, I think that we accepted his briefing. I don't think necessarily that we voted to move forward with anything. But this RFQ was provided by, Rob.
They obviously want our business and want to, this is the group that came in, and we've had them here before, but they said that they could look at the lights, determine what kind of, deal we could get to lower the cost of lighting, your heat and your air. The truth of the matter is, y'all, until we get ready to change out these units, though, we're gonna be stuck dealing with, I mean, in this building especially, the old system.
Well, this is a path company, I think if it was, they're the ones that came in and told us that they would give us a long-term plan on whether, like, if we need, like, in 3 years, we need to change out our chillers, and it's gonna cost X. In 5 years, we gotta do this, it'll cost, it's just giving us a way to prepare, to budget for those items, you know, that are gonna be those big ticket items, which I thought was good, because normally, from what I see, we get surprised.
I think we've got the monies in place for the chiller and the replacement of those Vector units already. So they were gonna, like you said, come in, do an energy assessment, and then report back to us.
Well, we say them, I mean, we have to do a request for qualifications, and then we'll decide who would do it. They would be a bidder, the people that presented. And of course, a request for qualification is not a lowest bid kind of scenario, so we would get to decide who they would be.
But I think we voted to let them do it.
No, we acknowledge their report.
Yeah, not to let them do it, but we
We just
request
acknowledge
that,
their
let them
report.
present various calls to do various things, in energy savings. And we will decide on which one of those that we would do. So it's kind of like, you can do this or you can do that, but you don't have to do everything.
Somebody help me, it seems like I remember, if we authorize them to do the energy assessment, if we accepted, their recommendations and started the action, it wouldn't be a cost, but if we didn't, then I think it would cost us for that assessment.
Yeah, I think she said that whatever they came up with, even if we just did like one project, there's no cost for any assessment. I guess that's what I'm saying, that we agree, the way to present this stuff.
We didn't agree to let them do anything, y'all just took it under advisement and asked Attorney Robinson to come up with a draft so that everyone could present the same, get the opportunity to do what they were presenting. That y'all did not authorize them to do anything, but to come back and have the opportunity to present what they were presenting, or bid, or however.
So you're asking for us to go through this draft?
Just look over it, if you wanna add something, you wanna subtract something, if you see something wrong, that obviously is an address wrong or something, just highlight it. This was not intended for y'all to approve today.
Okay, alright. So we just taking this one under the
Finally, got a couple of handouts that are not in the cover sheet that I put on my report. First, let's get the parade out of the way. I've got just some information that, well, tell me that's my guy. I got some information that was provided by the partnership. We know who's gonna be participating. The lineup is gonna be on Russell Street. It's gonna have to come through 12 and come in by, what's that, Comfort Suites, at the end of Russell Street there. So it's gonna be one way in that direction. Our Board of Supervisors is number 12, followed by the rest of the county stuff. So find your spot and, get lined up. The fire, or based on what Vic says, we're gonna have those trucks over here at our office at 3 o'clock. Lineup starts at 4:30, I think is what it says. Be in place before 5:30. Any questions on this one?
Just get them, just take those trucks and go ahead and put them in line. I won't be able to get there till 5:30.
We can, yes, sir.
If I'm not there by the time I leave, I'll meet you.
Okay. All right, no questions there. I got one other handout here. Y'all have been asking some questions about your, the funds. And keep one. So there's two pages here. One of these pages is the actual spending of the district road budget funds as of October the 31st. So this includes the expenditures that were on your claims docket for this month, and it shows you how much you were budgeted versus how much you spent to date this year, and then how much is remaining. The second page is what Clyde was referring to. It's that report that he was showing y'all holding up about the state aid projects. And then if you look over there about the 4, 5, 6 column in the funding side, it shows you county funds that are going to be required to support these projects. Now the Morgantown Road, we know that's coming from those special appropriations, or 1.5 million of it is anyway.
I love this. Yeah, we need to get this every quarter or so.
We had a big meeting, Supervisor Howard, we met with Road Manager Collins and a few of his folks. Dee was in there with us. We got some plans. I don't want to get too much detail, but yes, we're trying to get to a better spot where I can keep y'all better informed about what you have programmed. If you tell Vic I want to do a project, he does an estimate, we go ahead and program those funds. That way I can keep up with
how much budget you've obligated, not just what you've spent. Cause right now I can only tell you the invoices that have actually been paid. I can't really tell you how much you've obligated.
It's good just in a form of government too. A lot of times I know stuff within my county and got a good pulse on that, but not maybe countywide. But yeah, I definitely am on board with this. Being that, you know, we get asked all the time what's going on countywide.
One of the things that was mentioned as they work through the details is sort of like what our engineer does right now. Get it programmed and on the shelf. And until a supervisor actually signs that document saying, okay, I wanna move forward with this, then it comes down and it hits your 4-year road plan. Other than that, you know, it's not in the works yet until.
The 4-year road plan, and we can talk about it more in detail later, but the idea being the 4-year road plan is a funded plan. And so you can do a lot, you can plan for a lot of projects, but they sit up on the shelf. Once you figure out how we're gonna pay for it, we'll pull it off that shelf and put it on, or it could be an annex to the 4-year road plan but until we put money to it, and that's gonna drive me being able to keep up with your budgets better on what how much money you have and how much money you program for which projects, then it won't go on the 4-year road plan. So we got some catching up to do. I got some details I got to get through. We defined the problem really well. Now we got to kind of sharpen our pencil and write a process for the actual procedure. So, subject to your questions, that concludes my briefing.
I guess while we've got our administrator here, I just wanted to get acknowledgement from the board for my training. I don't know what it is. Okay.
I've got it on the supervisor's part.
I just need a board order acknowledging my bridge workshop, professional development item. Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
I've got a lot of signatures that we need, so if y'all would don't run out on me when this is over with. I'll try and have it organized for you.
I am spending on here related to bridge repair. The end spending.
Yes, that's county road and county bridge.
County bridge.
Yes, sir. If you notice at the top of your report, here, Supervisor.
Yeah.
We got county-wide road, county-wide bridge, and U-tax, and all that comes out of here.
Right. Yeah. And on the road, there is really road, there's no bridge.
That's correct, yes, sir. And it's just a function of what fund we keep up with it in. It's the same money, coming out of the same pot. It's just, it's collected differently, I think, which forces us to put it into different funds.
You good? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So that brings us to the final item on the agenda, which is the supervisor's business. Knock a few things out, I guess, and then we can look at Dr. Hall County Hospital. The biggest one on that list, and I'm not trying to run your end there, Mr. President.
No.
Okay, the Granville Barker land encroachment, and I'm gonna kinda ask you if Rob's had an opportunity to look at any of this.
I've spoken to the owner of the land, and I've actually looked at the tax office. How we got where we are today, I don't know. But we apparently own a weird shaped piece of property. But we definitely are, we haven't done let me back up a step or two. We have not done a survey of this property, so we're assuming that the tax lines that we're looking at are correct. and I have no reason to think that they're not, but the bottom line is, we're all over this man's property. If these lines are correct. Now, the property owner is more than willing to help work with us on this, and he understands this may take a little time to figure out. He's actually willing to even lease us this property, and he may, I haven't breached the subject with him, and he might be willing to sell us some of this, I don't know. But y'all need to be aware that we are definitely, not on just one side, but we're encroaching on him on two sides, and it ain't just a little bit, it's a lot. I mean, we've got gravel piled up, in one area, we've got, our people parking, on him, and we have an egress and, a way to get it on and off the property that's actually going through his property line. So there's definitely an issue here.
It looks like we've got fence built.
Yeah, we've got issues everywhere here. We may want to start out with maybe getting a survey on this to see what actually is our property. That may not be a bad idea.
I think we need to get the property survey.
Why don't we just get our stuff off the property?
I don't know where we're gonna put it. We don't.
Why don't we?
We've looked at this, y'all, I don't know how we built. This is a tiny little spot we have over there, and I don't think anybody
Where's this at?
That sea shop out at Clayton Village.
Clayton Village, sea shop. It would not be what you expected it to be. I mean, the truth of the matter is, we need the additional space.
You look at 17,000 a year, I mean, can you not buy it for that? Are you interested in selling?
He didn't tell me he was interested in selling, he said he would lease it. Now, that being said, I guess everybody's got everything's got a price, and I'm sure he's willing to sell it. And he's not trying to twist any arms, he just wants it satisfied. He don't want to lose it by not saying anything. That's his primary objective, is to make sure he's not losing his property.
You gonna make a motion to do a survey?
No, I'll make a motion to get the property survey.
Motion by Supervisor Little, second by Supervisor Trainer, that we have the property surveyed. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
We've already taken care of the Candlewood Suites business. We've already taken care of Supervisor Howard's certification. The only item remaining is the OCH Regional Hospital and the business with Raymond James and Butler's nowhere near here now.
I think we're gonna need to make a motion to go into closed session, to determine if we need to go into executive session to discuss. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Little. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. We are now in closed session. And that's why, man, it's hard not to answer.
Here comes California.
Well, me,
I don't have to.
Well, the worst one is when they do it like from start to spoof a number when you don't know who it is.
You feel like you got it.
Right. We're now back up and running. We have exited executive session with no action taken. So that being said, I think we're now at the end of our agenda. We need a motion to set a recess meeting for December 10th.
At 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Supervisor Carver, second by Supervisor Trainer. All in favor? Motion carried. We are now adjourned.
Y'all have a
Thank
lovely
you all
day.
so much.